Hello my good people and welcome. I hope you're doing great, and in our today's session I would like to take you through one of the projects that I did back in 2018. It was a PHP desktop application. I know that is very funny because maybe most of you have never heard about that, and it's something that I cannot recommend also to develop a system using that is a desktop application using PHP. But in our today's session I will explain you more about what I did and how you can do it, how you can develop one, and what are the challenges that you might face. This was a project that I did back in 2018, I think somewhere there. By that time I had the basic skills like how to declare variables, working with if statements, that is decision making, loops, arrays, and connection of database. That's what I had, and I needed to advance my skills in this programming language called PHP. As you know that I can say I have got intermediate skills in the PHP area, or rather sometimes advanced, because I've done several systems, but in most cases I normally rather remain with the intermediate, because when you talk of advanced it means you need to have got extra knowledge, but I can do a complete system. You'll see what I did. And it's good thing when you want to learn a new programming language. Now once you get the basic, you can start a project and focus on it. So I did a system that is a school system, and this school system, it has got the modules for registering students. There is a admin part which has the you'll see all those kind of stuff I'll show you, and also there is the part that generates the report form in form of PDF. That was the most important thing that I wanted to achieve back then. So now in this case, to do or rather to create a desktop application, I did my research, and I found this library that was developed by this guy you can see here, Zach, something like that. I think he's a Russian guy, maybe something like that. So the idea is to create a desktop application that is a graphical user interface application using PHP, HTML, JavaScript, and SQLite database. So in this case, on the front end you'll use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or you can also use Bootstrap, and on the database side you will use SQLite, and the backend you'll use PHP. That is the idea. In most cases when you hear a PHP desktop application, you might wonder how you are going to develop the GUI, because the graphical user interface can only be used be designed using HTML and JavaScript, or rather CSS and Bootstrap, things like those ones. So what you just need to do, or rather what I did, I downloaded this library, as you can see here. So this is what you're going to work with, those kind of three languages, or I can say maybe languages, or rather something like that. That is PHP, HTML, JavaScript. You can use Bootstrap, and an SQL database. As you know that SQL database is something which is portable. Now, so what you just need is to download this library. It's kind of a zipped folder that you download and you extract the file. So when I did that, and there is version for Linux and also there is version for desktop, and I think they have never advanced on this one. I don't know when was the last time that I did, and they are looking for funds for someone who might fund for this one, to in case maybe you want them for to advance on this kind of development. So let's jump in. Once you download, you get a folder that looks like it's called PHP, but I renamed the folder to be ICT system. That's what I did back then. Then when you open the folder, you'll find files that looks like this. So it works now similar as when you're working with XAMPP or WAMP. Or in XAMPP you normally save your work in HTT docs, and on WAMP there is a www folder where you normally put your files. So that is the case, and in this case now you normally find a folder that is called www, and I would advise maybe once you download, you clean whatever it's inside there, and you can pick any system that you've developed using PHP. But in this case you might have a database that is SQLite. It can be good, and you'll see how it works. So this is the case. So this is the system that I developed. It has got the admin folder, there is a reception, there is teachers, and other stuff that are here. So The database is here in this folder, which I created using SQLite. Maybe you can view whatever it's in the database, and to see whatever it's in the database, or to check what it's inside that DB SQLite database, you normally use a DB browser kind of a setup. So install in your machine this setup. I'll share the link for all these projects so that you can be able to advance it in your own way. So let me drag this file and move it here so that you can be able to see the tables that I have. I have a class table, I have exam table, I've got what we have got that is for log file in case someone's logins. We have got marks, we have got subject, teachers, and so forth. So that is the data that is inside this one. And as I told you, is something that I will not advise you to do, creating a software that is a desktop application using PHP as in this case. But this is possible because you can even create a setup of it. I'll show which software you can use to create the setup. So I hope up to this point you have downloaded your file from this link. There is a GitHub link here. I will also share the link on the description so that you can see where you can download, and also I will share the project itself also for you to download in case maybe you want to advance it. So once you get something like this, to run the system, you just need to open this icon that you can see here, which is written setup. And in this case, let me open it. And when you open it, it's like when you run the WAMP. When you run the WAMP and write localhost on your browser, it opens the program, whatever it's on the www folder. So in this case, this is the project. That's how it looks like. You can see it is not opening using the browser. So to open the browser, you can also, I'd like to use the browser instead of using this part. Though you can log in through this one and you'll continue using this setup area. But in this case, I'll open using the browser. And once I open using the browser, I've just minimized, because when you close this one, it's like you've closed it's the same way when you close a WAMP server and you try to run the system, it is not going to work. So in this case, as you can see, it's using the local IP address 127.0.0.1, something like that. I know you are familiar with that if you ever worked with a PHP system. So in this case, I can log in as admin, and admin, it's admin. I think that is the password that I've used, if I'm not wrong. So the same you also use that one, but also you'll be able to download the DB browser so that you can check which password is inside there and all that. Now, on the admin side, what I did, I wanted the admin work to add a tutor, to add something to do with what we refer to as what? My machine is loading very slow. I don't know why. So you add the tutor, you add the subject, you can also add the exams, and also the classes that you're dealing with, or courses that you're dealing with. So in this case, if it's a college, something like that, you will work with courses. If it is a secondary, maybe high school or primary, you'll have to add classes. So let's check how you do it. You click on this one, and as you can see, this is how it looks. You add the tutor, and once you add the tutor, now you are good to go. You can get to the class. You add a class, like you can say form 1, form 2, form 3, and you select the class tutor because already you've added the tutor. Once you do that, the next thing that you need to do is to add subjects. Like for example, if it's a subject, for example, like mathematics, you write mathematics. You specify which class and who is the teacher for that unit. So that's how you do that. The next one is to add exams. Like for example, when you're doing exam, which is maybe you can say term, like right now it's 2021, so I can say term 1 2021, term 1, I forgot to write 1 2021. Then here you need to specify the year itself, which is 2021. There is a reason why you need to specify that, because that is on the logic part of the system. I don't know whether I did it very well, or I have to think about it more in an advanced way. So I'm not going to add it. So once the admin does all that, also they can delete, they can also edit and so forth. You can see these ones, and I'm using Bootstrap, so which makes the system look when it comes to the table look nicer. Also you can add some icons using the font awesome, which is something that it's great, you can also use. So once the admin does that, they will log out, and the next thing, or the next person who needs to log into the system is the secretary. And with the secretary, they are the one who normally adds the student to the system. So they will log into the reception area, and the login form is the same, it doesn't change, because I've used levels of login, so that it will depend where you're going to log in. So in this case, as if you want to add student, by default you can search student here, like for example you can say 01, something like that. You can see this is working very well. So you can add a student like this, and there is an option for also deleting the student here. Now you have got the student. Once you have the student and you have the teachers, it means on the back end it's done. The next thing is once the student the student do the exam, the next thing is for the teachers now to log in and add the marks to the system. So in this case I've used the password, which is Eric, and supposed to be Eric123. I think that's why you can see it refused to. And as you can see, that login form looks nice, it can display the errors on top here. So in this case is Eric123, and press enter, and I can send for the purpose of just logging in. In other cases, maybe if I need to do that. Now this one I did have a search button here, but I don't like the way it is. But you can use to search, maybe if you've entered the marks as a tutor. For example, you can search which term and which form you want to see whether you've entered the marks. So in this case, I've just selected, you can select this one and form 1, and it's going to display the marks for those students. So you can see it looks like this. So either you can edit the marks or delete the marks in case you might not need. So if you're a teacher, maybe it would be better to have a search area where you can search by unit and it's going to give you, or you can search by class and it can also give you whether you specify whether you've entered the marks, because sometimes you might have more than 4 units, even something like that. You know, that happens a lot. Now if you need to enter marks or to input marks, you need to click on this one, that is marks. You specify the year, that's why I was talking about the exam year. If it is 2021 or 2020, then you search, like you can specify the class there, and it's going to display like this one, the student. So the next thing is to choose the unit that you want to fill in. Also you need to specify the exam, the term, that is, and also you can also upload a CSV file, and it's going to work out very well. There is an Excel sheet that you can also upload. I did all that so that I can get to understand. And once you do that, here you know, if it's cut, it cannot go beyond 15. That is cut 1, cut 2. I did it in a way that as a tutor you need to summarize it to 15%. So that is the opener, and cuts should add up to 30. Then the end term should add up to 70, not beyond that. That's why you can see it is having red color on the corners. So in case I put 45, it's going to accept. So that is what you need to specify. If the student missed the exams, you can write 0. That is good to note. Then you submit, because at the end of the day I understand if the student cannot get 0. If they get 0, when you're checking the report form and you see a 0, you'll know that that student did not do an exam. But as a tutor, in case the student did the exam, there is no way they can get 1. It's like the neck. You can only get like 1 mark for maybe writing your name and all that. So that's how you do it, and you submit. And once you submit, your marks is submitted, and you can go back to home and you'll be able to see your marks. Now once you feed in the marks, the next thing you need to do is to generate the report. already in my system I have got some data which is existing there. So it's something that I wanted to show you, because the aim of the system, I wanted to generate a PDF report so that I can see how it works. So in this case, you go to the report, you specify your class that you want to generate the report, because the idea was to generate all the reports for that class at the same all at once, not like one individual or one student. Once it generates one PDF document, now you can search the student using search on the PDF. You know how to do it. So in this case, I can say term 1 or which term that they want. Then you search, and once you search, it's going to generate something that looks like this. And as you can see, it looks nice. It's a very nice stuff. I used a library called FPDF. FPDF is a library that you can use to generate PDFs very well. So as you can see, the units are well organized. Once they are well organized, you can have the grade and so forth. Though I think there are some errors which needs to be worked on, but I was more of to get the final result so that I can see how it works. Now you can see there is the first student, and it's class 1, the name of the student, admission number. They have got the second student here and so forth. So it's a list of like 4 students, something like that. So that's why you can see it's generating the report form, and they looks very nice. That's why I'm saying that it's good I share the system so that you can be able to advance your system, that is to do a better version of it. Already I'm working on a better version where you'll find that the data is more encrypted. There is no way you can check the data on the database. That is the idea that I want to improve, because as I told you, it's not advisable to do a PHP system because someone can hack your system easily. And in that case, when they hack the system, you'll find that the marks, as you can see here, they are visible, and someone can change all those kind of data. Now that is not the case, because with PHP, how you can manage to handle that is using encryption. You can encrypt the data in a way that no one can be able to see what is stored on the database, something like that, and how it is stored. And also on the other side, when you're generating the report form, there will be an encryption key which can decrypt the encrypted data. So that is one way you can secure this kind of system, and now you'll be on the safe side. Now I would like to talk about how you can make it a desktop, because in most cases desktop you need to make it a setup, like that is an installer. So there is this software called Setup. Setup, you just need to download it, and once you download it, you will just need to show it the folder of your system, and when it asks you for the setup, you select this icon with the blue color, and you can also change the icon. The other thing that you also need to do, maybe for example you want to install it in a server, like in an organization. I want to be in a scenario where you'll find that because the institution, every tutor or teacher, they have got their own machine or personal machine which is connected to the local area network, and there is the institution server. Once you create the setup using this one and your data is encrypted, now it means your system is more safer. So what you just need to do is to go and install the system to the server. And before you install it to the server, or before you create a setup, the most important thing is to make sure your server has got what we refer to as there is something we call a static IP address. So that static IP address, just open this settings here, .json, and make sure you feed in this there is IP address. You change this IP address to the IP address of that server. So what is going to happen is that what you need to do is to, once you install the system, you just try to run the system, and when you run the system on the server, it means now on the server the system is running, up and running. So you can use it either on the server, or because of that IP address that you've added here, the system is accessible anywhere on the LAN. So the tutors, they can feed in the marks wherever they are. In case maybe it's to generate the report forms, you just need to have those permissions that for the tutors to be able to generate because the permission of generating the report form is on the tutor side. That is something which is important that you need to do. On the other side, when you're feeding the marks, is good you can design the system to improve it. That is the area that I've not done, such that only the tutor can feed in marks on the subjects that they normally cover, of which that is possible. You can be able to do that one using SQL statement and so forth. So you'll find that now the PHP desktop, it's possible, something that you can do, because once you encrypt your data on the database, in case someone hacks the system and they don't have the encryption key, they cannot be able to make any changes. And again, you host your system on a server which is stored within the institution, and the system will be working very well, so as you've seen. And the only thing that I would advise, because in this case this system I'm using, as you can see, there is a lot of bootstrap because of those models and so forth. This model allows you to design these models. There must be bootstrap that you need to put in place to be able to do that. So these are projects that I ended up partnering with someone, and they ended up presenting somewhere for as a school project that is in campus and so forth. So it's something that's nice, though I had not done all the completion of how I would like it to be, but they got their marks and they are happy about it. And I know now when you can pick this project and be able to advance it in a more or better way, you can also make sure there is the accountant part of it. You can download print receipts and so forth. Yeah, and add so many features, even like SMS. You remember in this channel I talked about SMSs and so forth, how you can send SMS, how you can receive payments via Lipa na M-Pesa. And from my understanding, it's a way that you can also improve the system such that you can synchronize it with an online server part of it, and the system will be working very well. So that is it for today. I hope you've learned something. You'll be able to advance the system. I'll share the link for this setup, maybe for those guys who might need to start from scratch. I'll also share a zipped file on the description, a link on the description that you can click and download this project, and also a link for this setup which you can download and try to zip it on your own. Though I might do another video to show you how you normally zip and how you can do all those other parts that are remaining. So that is it for today, guys. And as you know, this channel, we normally talk about technology. I would like to thank you for those guys who have subscribed to this channel. And again, please kindly share to as many people as you can this link. And also make sure you like the video, because that's how you support this channel, and I will appreciate a lot. The number is growing every day. I can see right now it's more of 250. And it's something that I started like 3 months ago. So it's something that I feel like it's an achievement, and it's helping a lot of people have receiving positive messages. I know maybe there might be someone who is maybe better than me, but I know very well in one way or the other I'm touching lives of many, and that's a good thing to me. That's what keeps me going. So please kindly continue supporting this channel by sharing to as many people so that they can continue subscribing and doing all those things. Now the other thing is CodeStar. You know, CodeStar is an online learning platform that I started back in last year, and the idea is to make sure you get the skills based the skills that you need in this field of IT. As I always tell you, that this field of IT needs skills. It's not about theories and so forth. Yes, you'll cover theory in universities and college, but when you come out here, you realize that people are looking for skills, and that's something that I can see it is missing in most of the guys here in Kenya. So I would like to ask you, maybe kindly, if you get time, you can enroll for 1 or 2, 3 courses like web development with JavaScript, full stack JavaScript developer. You know, we normally use things like Node.js on the server side. You can also enroll for a PHP HTML, that is PHP MySQL website developer or something like that. We also offer things like WordPress short courses, and they are very, very cheap. Our courses, they don't cost more than what you think, like you'll find them out there. It is something that is less than 5,000, others are 2,000 and so forth. Graphic designs are out there. So please kindly continue supporting this channel, and once you enroll, we'll get in touch and get to know how we can start the sessions. that is lesson sessions. In that case, I'll be able to show you how it maybe you can install to set up your workstation if it's about the softwares that you might need, maybe necessary for you to start coding, like if it's an installation of Node.js, XAMPP, WAMP, and also things to do with maybe if it's graphic softwares, the softwares that you need, if it's QuickBooks. And you know, very quick QuickBooks is something that is very, very cheap. It's around less than 2,000, something like that. So you can also check all those prices. You'll be able to see all that one on the platform. So you just need to write www.codestar.co.ke. also, I'll place the link on the description, and it's for you to be able to get all those details that you might need, and you will find yourself improving skills. So far I have got like 5 guys who have done very well. They're out there, they are moving forward, improving their skills each and every day, and I would like to appreciate, because through that supporting each other, you support me, also I support you. And I know sometimes maybe you might say there is these resources are out there on the internet and maybe on YouTube and so forth, but in most cases we are supposed to be honest and say that yes, they are out there, but in some cases you might need that assistant, so that someone can guide you on one step to another step, because you'll never know which is which, or which part of the which part you're going to start with or end up with. So that is it for today. I appreciate a lot, and thank you guys. Continue supporting this channel.